And welcome inside to a Fanatics Friday at Alex Garrett Podcast. Yes, we're going to try something a little different, a little unique, and maybe, just maybe, because Fanatics has sponsored me on TikTok as one of their Fanatics ambassadors, maybe we could try and make Fanatics Friday a thing in the Sports Hour section of this podcast. And there's so much to talk about this Fanatics Friday. We've got Henrik Lundqvist, number 30, hanging in the rafters at Madison Square Garden tonight, as they retired his number before the game against the Wild. Then we've also got a naming of a Giants head coach, and Bills Mafia is coming to New Jersey and the Meadowlands. Joe Schoen, GM, was in the Bills organization. Brian Daboll was the offensive coordinator for the Bills. He's now going to be the head coach of the Giants. And if you look at the Bills' turnaround the last few years, you have to be hopeful. You have to be hopeful that maybe, just maybe, competence has hit the New York Giants again. In a group I'm in, somebody mentioned how there have been about 14 or so star-studded draft picks for Joe Schoen in Buffalo. And look at Josh Allen, the biggest one so far that I could think of. Look at what he's done with Stephon Diggs. I mean, that was an incredible move to bring Diggs to Buffalo. Look at Cole Beasley. Wow. The moving pieces for that team, they just can't get over the hump against Kansas City. That's where it's at right now for Buffalo. And I'll get into this weekend's matchup because I think it's going to be very interesting. I think Joe Burrow gives Mahomes a run for his money. I think that Garoppolo and the Niners, I don't know if they can win. I think Cooper Kupp and the Rams have the answer. But I'm going to root for Robbie Gould. You know why? You know why I'm going to root for Robbie Gould? Because he kicked the Bears into the Super Bowl in 2000, the 07 season. Remember that? My dad's a huge Bear fan, so that was enormous when he kicked that field goal against the Saints. And he's still doing it, this time with the Niners. So he's going to be someone I'm rooting for. Yeah, I'll be rooting for Cooper Kupp. I like that kid. But I don't know. I'm feeling the Niners and the Bengals personally. And if you ask me for my professional opinion, of course I think it's going to be the Rams and the Chiefs. But Burrow could surprise us. And the Niners could surprise us on the leg of Robbie Gould and the arm of Jimmy Garoppolo. Not a big fan of Garoppolo. But Robbie Gould, I would root for that dude any day of the year. By the way, do you know he and McMahon, the quarterback for the Bears of that championship season, share the same number 9? Didn't know that till I researched that this week, so that's very interesting. And so, much happening. But I want to get into the fact that the Giants have made a hire for Fanatics Friday. I think we start there. Joe Schoen looks accomplished. Brian Daboll looks accomplished with that offense. So how can they utilize Daniel Jones should he be fully healthy? How do you utilize Saquon, who is almost like fragile as a piece of glass sometimes? And how do you handle the fact that there's still no offensive line? How are you going to fix that? You could draft quarterback after quarterback after quarterback, but with no O-line, you are screwed. You are screwed. And then, on the other side, the defense was okay, but, it's got to be put together way better. You cannot have this Giant team go 4-13 in an 18-week season. 4-13. I was amazed it took them that long to fire Joe Judge, to be honest. Took him a few days after the season. People were worried he was coming back. Even after the dumpster fires against the Bears and the Eagles. But no, fresh face, fresh blood in New York, in the Tri-State area. As instead of shuffling off to Buffalo, they now shuffle down to East Rutherford. And put the pieces together for a team that needs a lot of work. Ton of work. And I hope it happens. I hope it happens. Freddie Kitchens took over as offensive coordinator and did nothing for that Giant team after Jason Garrett, the former Cowboy coach, got fired. Nothing. He should be gone. He should be gone too. Bring in a fresh start, man. You got to do it. You got to do it. And also on my mind tonight, congratulations to Edgardo Alfonso. He's been hired as the Staten Island Ferry Hawks' first ever manager. The Ferry Hawks, owned by John Katsimatidis and Staten Island Sports and Entertainment, adding an amazing baseball mind, a great baseball player. He actually played in the independent league, that the same league as the Ducks, as a Duck for a few years. Now he's back in the league against the Ducks and against former Met Wally Backman, who's managing the Ducks. July 4th, 2022, Ducks and Ferry Hawks on Staten Island, same ballpark where the Staten Island Yankees used to be, by the way. So I'm revved up about that. I'm also revved up because, kind of interesting, Carlos Beltran hired as a Yes Network analyst. Remember, Kenny Singleton did retire, and I think Kim Jones also moving back to Yes. So some shakeups going on in the media world there at Yes. You're going to have a cast with Alex Rodriguez, Michael Kay. I think Coney was going to join that too. That ESPN Sunday Night Baseball cast. We'll have A-Rod and Michael Kay, I believe. So a lot of moving parts for Yes Network and those guys now. But I want to finish up this Fanatics Friday with a story. As you know, David Ortiz was elected to the Hall of Fame this week. And as I mentioned a couple episodes ago, after realizing he won, after finding out he won, I said I had a story for you. Well, my dad and I had very unique access through the years at Yankee Stadium. And after Game 7 of the 2004 ALCS, we all know what happened. Yankees blew it 4 straight after winning 3 in a row to start the series, losing the next 4. Boston goes on. But I did go down and congratulate the Red Sox. And David Ortiz gave me a huge, huge hug. And that was special. And that was special. And then, of course, 2013, after the bombing in Boston, the Boston Marathon, when he said, "This is my effing city," you felt that. You knew that. David Ortiz was Boston. He is synonymous with Boston. And how grateful do you think he is, having been elected after surviving a shooting over the last couple of years? That was a bizarre turn of events in the Dominican Republic. But he is now Hall of Fame bound. And I think rightfully so. Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens not making it this week. Look, steroids or not, people are going to say the Hall failed. The writers failed the Hall, which is their mission is to preserve history of baseball. But you see what would happen was, if they allowed those two in, the floodgates, The absolute floodgates would have opened up for Pete Rose, for calls for Pete Rose to be elected. Because he, in the eyes of many, cheated on the game. But he also had, the hit record. He made history as a Red. But if they allowed those two in, calls for him to be in as well would have shot through the roof. And maybe the voters didn't want that headache. I don't know. But one of the main balloters, the Veterans Committee is choosing Jim Cott to go in. Buck O'Neill's going to go in. Very cool. Very cool indeed. Cott, a TV analyst now, but it was quite a picture for the Twins back in the day. So he'll be in. But I do think it's a bit of a disgrace. As much as I don't like the fact that those guys didn't make it, as much as I like the fact those guys didn't make it, can we admit it's a disgrace that only one guy was elected in? What's up with the balloting? Are there just not enough good candidates? I thought Mark Teixeira was an interesting candidate. Scotty Rowland. Wagner might get in next. Billy Wagner. Oh, Scott Rowland. I wore his jersey a lot. But yes, this Fanatics Friday, I want you to know Fanatics has great deals right now. Just go there. Shipping is free for 24 free, and they've got a lot of stuff on sale. So check it out. Fanatics.com. They are the sports clothing retailer of the time. And I'm proud to be an ambassador for them. And I'm thankful that they want to partner with my TikTok. Anyway, AlexGNYC1. And maybe we'll expand that. But for now, this is the first Fanatics Friday. We'll see what happens with this concept down the road. Enjoy championship weekend. AFC, NFC. I'm hoping it's the Bengals and Niners. But my gut says Chiefs and Rams, which will make the second team in a row to host a Super Bowl in their own home. The Rams would host the Super Bowl as LA is hosting the Super Bowl. How cool would that be for Matt Stafford? A comeback player for sure. Cooper Kupp, who's already made franchise records this season. I like that kid. I like what he does. I like how he handles the football. I like the connection he and Stafford have. And I also like Robbie Gould. So at the end of the day, whoever wins, I won't mind. But I'm kind of hoping Joe Burrow does something special. That's the one game I'm hoping for, really. That we could see that kid continue to be special. Do you remember, and I might have said this before, do you remember when Joe Burrow made that slant fooling Alabama to beat them years ago, his final year before being drafted? That was cool. And that's what sends Joe Burrow in my fandom, my Fanatics world. And you can get a shirt on sale now at Fanatics.com with Joe Burrow. Check it out. Fanatics.com, your sports retail resource for all the teams. They partner with every league and basically every team. Check them out. Good stuff. Proud to talk about them. Proud to have some involvement with them. And we'll see how that involvement grows. But for now, Fanatics, stay being fanatical. Sports is going to help us be sane in this insane world. Have a great night.